What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are back on GarageBand Mac doing the second part of our video series on producing a vocal track. So today we are going to be focusing on how to use a compressor, a multipressor, and a direction mixer. In my opinion, I think compressors are an extremely valuable asset to have, and they could really take your sound quality to the next level. So let's hear what we have from yesterday, with no compression on it whatsoever.
Family functions ain't no friends. Had a line around my M's, turn them into M's. Why you tryna make amends? What's the smell? It's heaven sins. Like I drop shit out the wind, dodging hella sins.
So as you can see, the main thing that you can hear is that there's an inconsistency in the sound. What I mean by that is that the sound waves are at different levels and it's going up and down, up and down. What a compression does, it takes those sound waves, compresses it down, and it kind of makes them equal and smooths them out, and you can make them louder or softer, which really gives a more professional sound. Now let's get to our compressor. So if you go over here, if you don't have it, it's going to be in dynamics, and go to compressor. And when you go to compressor, you're going to have all of these sliders here. So what do all these sliders do? Now first and foremost is your gain. Your gain, there is no one gain setting to have, because all that it does is change your volume of the track. So that obviously depends on the individual track. And all of you guys may have different levels of how it fits into your mix. So your gain is just the level of the volume. The next thing is your attack. Now your attack is pretty much how compressed your vocals are going to be. If you compress it all the way here to 0 milliseconds, all your sound waves are going to be as equal as it can get, and it's going to be very compressed down, and sometimes if you do it too much, it's going to actually distort them. So it's important not to go too hard on it. If you go all the way out here, your vocals are going to be much more transparent and transient. So for a vocal style like this with more rapping and hip-hop sound, I'm going to go around 10. And if I keep it around 10 milliseconds, I'm going to compress the vocals without overdoing it. Next, your ratio. Your ratio is another feature that kind of affects how your compression is. If you have it all the way out, it's going to really kind of make it more punchy and attack it in your face. If you keep the ratio down, not so much. So that's basically just an add-on for your attack. Now the compression threshold is also very important. It's essentially how much of the compressor you'll kind of hear. So if you go all the way down here, you're going to hear everything, and it's going to probably overdo it, and you do not want that, because it's going to really allow the sound to get super loud and super soft. Whereas if you keep it all the way down here, you're not going to really hear the compressor that much. So I like to keep it in the middle, somewhere between the 30 and the 15 decibel, negative 30 and negative 13 decibels, to kind of give your compressor that sound but not overdo it. The next thing is our multipressor. This is a little more simple. It's also going to be found in dynamics over here. And when you go to multipressor, there aren't any sliders except for your master gain. So the way that you get your other presets is clicking this drop down, and you'll have all these presets here. So if you go into, let's say, 2-band compressor, it's a pretty basic compressor here. 3-band compressor, also pretty basic. These are going to be all different presets that have different uses and different sounds and different textures to them. So if you want to work on finding which one works for you best, you can go ahead and experiment with those. I like to do a fast attack 4-band, which is what I will do here. And your master gain is just, again, how loud your track will be with this multipressor on. So let's hear how those two sound together.
Family functions ain't no friends. Had a line around my M's, turn them into M's. Why you tryna make amends? What's the smell? It's heaven sins. Like I drop shit out the wind, dodging hella sins.
Alright, so it's definitely sounding a lot better. You can kind of hear how it's louder, it's more present, it's fuller, and those are all things that we can get from a compressor. It's a little bit harsh right now, so we're going to kind of spread it out and even it out. So we're going to do that through a direction mixer. So now that's found in imaging. So if you go here, you're going to go to imaging and you go to direction mixer. It's going to take your sound waves and spread it out. So the most important thing is to keep it at plus 180 degrees. That'll take your sound waves and split it evenly to create a stereo image. Now, when you take your spread, if you put it all the way at 2, it's going to very much spread out your sound waves so they're all at the other ends. If you compress it a little bit more to about 1, it's where it is originally. I like to keep it at around the 1.3 mark. So if you add those with all the things that we did yesterday, you can see that we're getting closer to the final product. And we have definitely a few more steps to go, but you can see how the sound is getting better for sure. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you leave your suggestions in the comments below and stay tuned for a new video in the series coming up soon. I also hope you guys like my new beats that I'm posting. DM me if you want to buy those, and I also have a full mixing, mastering, and editing package for just $20. DM me on Instagram for more info on how to get that to me and how to do that. So if you're interested in that, just DM me on my Instagram at AAMIT36. And as always, have a great day.
Family functions ain't no friends. Had a line around my M's, turn them into M's. Why you tryna make amends? What's the smell? It's heaven sins. Like I drop shit out the wind, dodging hella sins.